Titan is a science fiction novel by British author Stephen Baxter, published in 1997. It follows a desperate and daring mission to Titan, Saturn's enigmatic moon, believed to harbor the building blocks of life within its thick atmosphere and alien chemistry. The story starts in the early 21st century. The United States is ruled by President Xavier McLaughlin, a fervent nationalist who believes Earth is the center of the universe. Under his administration, American high schools are forced to give equal treatment to the outdated Ptolemaic model of the solar system. Meanwhile, society descends into cultural decay, overwhelmed by digital entertainment and a loss of intellectual curiosity. The U.S. government, under McLaughlin's far-right, isolationist regime, severs international ties and even fragments domestically as some states move toward secession. Tensions rise with China, an emerging superpower focused on dominating space. After the catastrophic failure of the Columbia shuttle, crashing on landing rather than disintegrating on re-entry, NASA loses all political and public support. The space agency is stripped of independence and absorbed by the U.S. military. Space vehicles are converted into weapons platforms, and scientists are forced to develop ethnically targeted biological weapons intended for use against the Chinese. Amidst this grim backdrop, a small group of astronauts and scientists, Paula Ben-Saraf, a Columbia disaster survivor, Isaac Rosenberg, a jet propulsion laboratory scientist, Sayaban Libet and Nicola Mott, lovers and International Space Station veterans, and Bill Angel, an experienced astronaut, refuse to surrender humanity's vision for space. Together, they attempt to convince what remains of NASA to launch a crewed mission to Titan, hoping to validate life detection data from the Cassini probe and rekindle global interest in space exploration. With no new infrastructure, the team repurposes old technology. Space Shuttle Atlantis is modified to carry cargo into orbit. A restored Saturn V rocket is used to assemble the main spacecraft, a heavily adapted version of Discovery powered by shuttle OMS engines and a Russian Topaz nuclear reactor. Modules from the decommissioned International Space Station are used for habitation, and old Apollo capsules are refitted to serve as Titan landers. On launch day, as the shuttle Endeavour prepares to carry the crew into orbit, a deranged USAF general, driven by militaristic pride and contempt for space exploration, attempts to destroy the shuttle with an anti-satellite missile launched from a restored X-15 aircraft. Despite damage from the attack, Endeavour successfully reaches orbit. The 5 astronauts begin their 6-year journey to Saturn, using a series of gravitational assists similar to those used by the Cassini mission. Tragedy strikes during the voyage. Sayaban Libet dies after being exposed to a solar storm. The remaining crew rely on a closed-loop life support system, sustaining themselves with crops grown in a SEAL-SS greenhouse and recycling waste via supercritical water oxidation. Back on Earth, political support for the mission collapses. The same officials who tried to sabotage the launch now cut all funding for resupply and retrieval. The astronauts are abandoned, left to survive on their own with only the hope of what they might discover on Titan. After finally reaching the Saturnian system, the crew prepares to land. During descent, another astronaut is lost, and one more is critically injured. The moon's surface reveals a bleak, frigid landscape of sticky, tholin-rich mud and liquid ethane seas beneath a thick atmosphere saturated with purple organic snow. Despite the harsh conditions, the crew discovers fossilized remains of microbial life, similar to ancient bacteria found in Martian meteorites. Their groundbreaking findings are transmitted back to Earth, but the world responds with indifference. Meanwhile, in retaliation for the U.S. biological attacks, China launches its first astronaut on a suicide mission. His goal is to detonate a massive charge near asteroid 2002 OA, altering its trajectory to serve as a future weapon. But their calculations are tragically flawed. The asteroid is far too massive, and instead of being nudged into orbit, it slams into Earth, triggering a mass extinction event on the scale of the Cretaceous-Paleogene disaster. Earth is shattered, and the crew on Titan becomes the last known remnant of the human race. As disease and internal conflict consume the survivors, they make one final, defiant act. They place a flask of bacteria into a crater filled with liquid water, hoping to spark a new genesis of life. In the final sequence, billions of years pass. The Sun has entered its red giant phase, warming the distant Saturnian system. On Titan, where the astronauts died, 2 of them are inexplicably resurrected by an unknown alien force. They awaken to witness the rise of a strange, intelligent beetle-like species, descendants of the bacteria they had seeded. These creatures, evolved to survive in Titan's thawing environment, build a fleet of slow-moving interstellar probes, ready to carry life to other worlds before the swelling sun scorches the moon's surface. The legacy of Earth, and of those who dared to dream, lives on.